Hello, happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you for joining me here again. Again, my name is Tyson Peterson. This is my fourth video that is coming out about the doctrine of Zion, the New Jerusalem. And as I talked about last week, we'll be talking about kind of how the land is protected and how it'll be saved and sanctified for its purposes. Um, so just introduction again. My name is Tyson Peterson. I am a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I have a book coming out early next year through Cedar Fort Publishing called Jackson County Building Zion. It's a fictional book that kind of takes a look at how Jackson County might be in the future as it's being built up into Zion, the New Jerusalem. So just again today, I'm going to talk a little bit about how the land is protected and how it'll be saved for its sacred purposes. You've seen this picture here before, the picture of Adam-ondi-Ahman with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints there on the side. Definitely one of the more important places that's been saved and protected, and we'll talk a little bit about this. Before we go on to this, I want to read from Doctrine and Covenants, section 57, verse 1, because this is going to talk a little bit about the protection of this land. So this says, "Hearken, O ye elders of my church, saith the Lord your God, who have assembled yourselves together according to my commandments, in this land, which is the land of Missouri, which is the land which I have appointed and consecrated for the gathering of the saints." So just in the beginning, it's important to note that this land was set apart. This is the appointed land where Zion, the New Jerusalem, will be built. And with that first slide, that is the appointed land for the meeting at Adam-ondi-Ahman. Now, if you did read or look at my video last week, you'll notice there's a lot of ownership within the 63 acres that were purchased. You can see here on this slide, this is the spot for the temple dedication. That was done August 3rd, 1831. And Edward Partridge, an early member of the church, purchased 63 acres where Zion, the New Jerusalem, will be built up. Now, if you remember that slide of all the different ownership and the Church of Christ building, you'll notice right away that there's work that needs to be done, and part of this work can seem almost impossible, which happens quite often, but the Lord, as I show you on this slide, will do his work. Now, I want to read a little bit about this in a book that I've talked about before. It's Chosen, Missouri. This greatly helped me when I was writing Jackson County Building Zion. And there's a section in here talking about the difficulties, in establishing Zion, but there's a part that talks about how the Lord will do his work and he will fight our battles. And I just want to read this to you. And again, this is written by Kenneth W. Porter and Herman O. Ruff. So this is their words here. They say, "We feel sure that the Lord will instruct his prophet in the procedure which is peaceful and righteous. There may be those who will refuse to sell their lands at any price, resorting possibly even to armed resistance. Such resistance need not concern the faithful Latter-day Saint, however, for the Lord has assured his people that it will be useless for anyone to fight against the plans of the Lord. It seems quite evident that most of those living in Missouri today are of higher character and are more spiritual than those living over 130 years ago. Many have great faith and are sincerely seeking knowledge which will lead them into further light and truth. In any event, we feel certain that the leaders of the Latter-day Saints Church will remember the great caution the Lord gave that there should not be blood shed for Zion." So let me just pause there for a minute. So this is a very comforting thing to know, that There's not going to be a war that's going to happen here to get all the land that we need to have the New Jerusalem built up. As we read there will not be any blood shed for this. And in Doctrine and Covenants, section 63, verse 31, talks a little bit about this. So let me read that here. And that says, "And if by blood, as you are forbidden to shed blood, lo, your enemies are upon you, and ye shall be scourged from city to city, and from synagogue to synagogue, but few shall stand to receive an inheritance." So just to emphasize again, blood will not be shed for the establishing of Zion. So going on here in Chosin, Missouri, it says the members of the church, moreover, would never need to resort to force or violence in acquiring the necessary property in Missouri. This is because the Lord has promised that such would not be demanded. "For behold, I do not require at their hands to fight the battles of Zion. For as I said in a former commandment, even so will I fulfill. I will fight your battles." And that's Doctrine and Covenants 105:14 that you see here on this slide. So obviously there's work that needs to be done, but the Lord will do his work, and he will fight those battles for the establishment of Zion. So within this land, to help get this established, again, this picture that you see here, I did share last time, where you can see the different ownership, the community of Christ Church, the Spiral building there, the Community of Christ Auditorium, different ownership within those 63 acres. But part of the doctrine surrounding Zion, the New Jerusalem, is that there won't be any war with one another. And as you can see, we're going to read Doctrine and Covenants 45, verse 69. And this will talk a little bit about this. So Doctrine and Covenants section 45, verse 69 says, "And there shall be gathered unto it out of every nation under heaven, and it shall be the only people that shall not be at war one with another." So it's interesting to note that it says this is kind of one of the only places where there will not be war with one another. It might be hard to imagine, or maybe not, that wars and skirmishes and strifes are just going to increase. And for those that want to not be at war, they don't want to see the bloodshed, Zion, the New Jerusalem, will be the place that they will want to go to. Let me share with you, this is going to talk about something that Bruce R. McConkie said about the meeting at Adam-ondi-Ahman, one of the areas that's been protected and preserved. So this is something that Bruce R. McConkie said about this. He said, "Adam-ondi-Ahman, meaning the place or land of God where Adam dwelt, is at a place called Spring Hill, Daviess County, Missouri. This site is named by the Lord Adam-ondi-Ahman because, said he, it is the place where Adam shall come to visit his people, or the Ancient of Days shall sit, as spoken of by Daniel the prophet. There is a great valley there, in which the righteous will assemble, and where there are valleys, the surrounding elevations are called mountains. Thus our revelations speak of the mountains of Adam-ondi-Ahman, and of the plains of Olah Shinaiah, or the land where Adam dwelt. Sacred indeed is the whole region for what has taken place and what will take place in its environs." So I just want to pause there, and I want you to just kind of let that sink a little bit in, that this region is very sacred, and sacred things will take place there in the future. Bruce R. McConkie talks about something that Joseph Smith said about this area. Daniel, in his 7th chapter, speaks of the Ancient of Days. He means the oldest man, our father Adam. Michael, He will call his children together and hold a council with them to prepare them for the coming of the Son of Man. He, Adam, is the father of the human family and presides over the spirits of all men, and all that have had the keys must stand before him in the grand council. This may take place before some of us leave this stage of action. The Son of Man stands before him, and there is given him glory and dominion. Adam delivers up his stewardship to Christ, that which was delivered to him as holding the keys of the universe, but retains his standing as head of the human family. So you can see it's a very sacred meeting that will take place there. And because of all these sacred things that will happen, the building up of the 24 temples, the meeting at Adam-ondi-Ahman, because of this, the land has been protected and preserved for this. Now, we did discuss in the slide before that there's different ownership within those 63 acres, but again, the Lord will do his work there. And as we saw in the past, where the saints were driven out of many places, Jackson County included, the Lord did his work there, where now I'm speaking to you from Utah, a place that the Lord led the saints to. He did his work. They were driven out, but Zion was established in the mountains in Utah. And again, the same thing will happen in Jackson County, Missouri. The Lord will do his work, and things will happen to make it so that these sacred things can happen in Jackson County, Missouri. So my question for tonight, for you to ponder, is kind of our part in this. So we did talk about how the Lord will do his work, but I want you to ponder, what are you willing to do to help this work move forward? We know that the Lord loves work. He wants us to be anxiously engaged in a good cause. So I want you to think this week, what are you willing to do as the Spirit reveals to you to help this come to pass? And next week we will talk a little bit more about some of the things that will happen there surrounding the building up of Zion, the New Jerusalem. There are many signs of the coming of Jesus Christ that'll happen around this time, and we'll discuss some of those next week. But again, I do invite you to leave your questions with me. Please comment on this video, and I will read through those and try to answer your questions. And if you follow me on Twitter at Tyson Peterson, I post about these YouTube live events, and I invite you to follow me there for information about the upcoming videos. Again, I like to do these videos at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time each Sunday. And I thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you next week.